Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We're so glad you're here today. We have a topic that is going to be incredibly practical and immediately useful. Whether you're a student in an English-speaking classroom, you are learning English in a class right now, or you simply want to understand the language that surrounds teaching and learning, today is for you.
That is right. Today we are talking about classroom language, the phrases that teachers say, the phrases that students say, the language of asking for help, giving instructions, checking understanding, asking permission, and participating confidently in a lesson. This is real, everyday English that comes up again and again in educational settings around the world.
We are going to cover the most important phrases teachers use to manage a class, the phrases students use to participate and ask for help, the polite ways to interrupt or get attention, phrases when you do not understand, language for pair and group work, common mistakes learners make in classroom settings, 2 real conversations, and a quiz at the end. Let's get started.
Let us begin with the language teachers use, because understanding what a teacher is saying is the first step to being confident in the classroom. Even if your teacher speaks fast or uses phrases you haven't heard before, knowing the most common ones will help you follow along much more easily.
When starting a lesson, a teacher might say, any of these. Good morning, everyone. Let's get started. Settle down, please. That means calm down and pay attention. Open your books to page 42. Take out your notebooks. Let's pick up where we left off. That means continue from where we stopped last time. Today, we are going to look at something a little different.
During a lesson, teachers give instructions constantly. Listen carefully. Repeat after me. Say it again, please. Work in pairs. Get into groups of 3. Look at the board. Copy this down. That means write it in your notebook. Answer the questions on page 15. Do exercise 3 in silence. That means work quietly without talking.
Teachers also check understanding frequently. Does everyone understand? Are there any questions so far? Is that clear? Any confusion? Can someone give me an example? Who can tell me the answer? What does this word mean? Does that make sense? Have you got that? That last phrase means, did you understand?
Teachers give feedback and praise too. Well done. Excellent. Good try. Nearly there. That's almost right. Not quite, but you're on the right track. Could you be more specific? Can you explain what you mean? Try again. Don't worry about mistakes. That's how we learn.
Teachers also manage time and transitions. Right, let's move on. We're running short on time. Finish up what you're doing. Leave the rest for homework. That's all for today. We'll continue this next lesson. Make sure you have done the reading for next week. Any questions before we finish?
Now let's look at the language students use, because this is where a lot of learners feel nervous and don't participate as much as they could. Knowing the right phrases gives you the confidence to speak up, ask for help, and engage fully in the lesson.
When you arrive, good morning. Sorry I'm late. May I come in? I was absent last lesson. Could I borrow a pen, please? I've forgotten my book. Can I share with someone?
During a lesson, when you don't understand something, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat that, please? Could you speak a little more slowly, please? I don't understand what you mean by that. What does that word mean? Could you explain that again? I'm not sure I follow. Could you give an example? I'm a bit confused about this part.
Those are very natural and very polite ways to say you don't understand. Many learners are embarrassed to say they're confused, but teachers genuinely want to know. Asking for clarification shows you're engaged and trying to understand.
When you want to answer or participate, I think the answer is, in my opinion, could I add something? I would like to say something about that. Actually, I disagree because that's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought of it that way. Can I ask a question?
When you need help or have a practical request. Excuse me, could you help me with this? I'm having trouble with question 4. I'm not sure what to do here. Could you check my work? Is this right? Am I doing this correctly? Could I go to the bathroom, please? Could I open the window? It's quite warm in here.
When the lesson is ending, will this be on the test? When is the homework due? I didn't understand the homework. Could you explain it again? Sorry, could I ask one more question? Thank you for the lesson. See you next time.
Now let's talk about pair and group work language. Starting with a partner. Shall we start? Who wants to go first? What do you think about this? Can you explain your idea a bit more? When agreeing and disagreeing. I agree with you. That's a good point. I see it slightly differently. That's interesting, but what about when sharing results? We agreed that our group thinks we had a different answer here.
Now let's talk about some really important but often overlooked language around common classroom phrases that learners misuse or don't know.
First, the difference between may I and can I in classroom requests. May I go to the bathroom is more formally correct. Can I go to the bathroom is widely accepted in everyday classroom English, and most teachers will not correct it. Both are fine and polite as long as your tone is respectful. However, in a more formal or traditional classroom setting, may I sounds more appropriate.
Second, the phrase, I don't know. A lot of learners are afraid to say, I don't know, but it's completely acceptable in a classroom. A more complete and polite version is, I'm not sure, but I think, or I'm not certain. You can also say, I don't remember, or that's a good question, let me think about it. You're allowed to think before answering.
Third, how to politely disagree with a teacher. This feels scary, but it happens. You might say, actually, I think there might be a different way to look at this. Or, with respect, I've read something slightly different. Or, could you help me understand why, because I thought? These are respectful ways to raise a different point without being rude.
Fourth, asking for the meaning of a word. What does that word mean is fine, but you can also say, could you explain that word? How do you spell it? Could you write it on the board? Is there another word for that? How do you pronounce it? All very natural and useful.
Now, let's go through the mistakes because this is where learners can really improve their classroom experience.
Mistake number 1, saying teacher to get attention instead of a proper phrase or the teacher's name. Shouting teacher in the middle of a lesson sounds abrupt and rude in English-speaking classrooms. The correct approach is to raise your hand and wait to be called on, or say, excuse me, followed by the teacher's name, or just excuse me. This is how you get attention politely.
Mistake number 2, not asking for help when you need it. Many learners sit in silence and pretend to understand because they're embarrassed to ask, but teachers want students to ask questions. Saying, I'm not sure I understand, or could you explain that again, is expected and welcomed. Staying silent when confused doesn't help anyone.
Mistake number 3, using please incorrectly in requests. Some learners say, please may I go to the bathroom, or please could you repeat that, with the please at the start. This is not wrong, but in natural English, the please usually comes at the end. Could you repeat that, please? May I go to the bathroom, please? This sounds more natural.
Mistake number 4, starting an answer with because. In English, answers in class should begin with a complete statement, not just because. If a teacher asks, why is this correct? The natural response is, it is correct because, and then the explanation, not just because followed by the reason. Starting with because alone sounds incomplete.
Mistake number 5, saying I am agree or I am disagree. These are extremely common errors. The correct phrases are I agree and I disagree, without am. I agree with you. I disagree with that point. The verb agree and disagree do not need am, is, or are in front of them as main verbs in this use.
Mistake number 6, interrupting without a softener. Some learners just start talking when someone else is speaking or say stop or wait. These sound rude. The natural way to interrupt politely in English is to say, sorry to interrupt, or excuse me, can I just add something? Or if I could just come in here. These soften the interruption and make it sound respectful.
6 mistakes and 6 clear corrections. Knowing these will make you a much more confident and natural participant in any English classroom. Now let us hear 2 conversations so you can see classroom language working naturally.
First conversation, a student arriving late to class.
Come in. Please take a seat quickly.
Sorry I'm late. May I come in properly? I missed the bus.
That is fine. Sit down and open your book to page 38. We're doing the listening exercise.
Sorry, could you tell me which exercise we are on?
Exercise 2. Listen carefully and answer the questions below. Does everyone understand what to do? Great. Let us begin.
A few minutes later. Excuse me, I didn't quite catch the last part of the recording. Could we listen again?
Yes, of course. One more time from the beginning. Pay attention to the second speaker. Right. Discuss your answers with the person next to you.
Excuse me, could you help me with question 3? I'm not sure what they mean here.
Good question. Look at the context around it. What words come before and after? Think about what makes sense. Try it first, and I will come back to you.
That conversation showed a natural classroom exchange from arrival to participation. Notice the polite request to come in, asking for clarification about the page, asking to listen again, and asking for help with a question, all using natural classroom language throughout.
Second conversation. A student asking questions at the end of a lesson.
Right, that's all for today. Any questions before we go?
Yes, please. Could you explain the difference between those two grammar points again? I was a bit confused by the second one.
Of course. The first point is about. The second one is slightly different because. Does that make it clearer?
Yes, thank you. And sorry, one more thing. When is the homework due?
By Thursday, please. Make sure you do exercises 4 and 5 on page 46.
Thank you. And will any of this be on the test?
Yes, the grammar from today will be tested. Review your notes tonight. Any other questions? No? Great. See you all on Thursday. Have a good day.
Excuse me, sorry to keep you. Could you spell that word you wrote on the board? I couldn't read my notes clearly.
Of course. It's CONTEXT. Context. Does that help?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Both conversations showed very natural classroom English throughout. Polite requests, clarification phrases, and natural ways to handle every classroom situation.
Now, quiz time. 5 situations. What is the best thing to say? Take a moment before each answer.
Situation 1. Your teacher is speaking too fast and you can't follow. What do you say?
The best phrase is, could you speak a little more slowly, please? Or, sorry, could you repeat that, please? Or, I'm not quite following. Could you explain that again? All are natural and polite ways to ask for a slower pace or a repetition.
Situation 2. You want to answer a question, but another student is already speaking. How do you wait and then join in?
Raise your hand and wait. When the teacher acknowledges you, say, I would like to add something, or could I come in here, or if I could just add to that point. You should not speak over someone else. Wait and use one of these phrases when it's your turn.
Situation 3. You disagree with what another student said. How do you express that politely?
You say, I see it slightly differently, or I'm not sure I agree because, or that's an interesting point, but I think, or with respect, I had a different understanding. You disagree while acknowledging the other person's contribution. Never just say no or that's wrong.
Situation 4. You don't know the answer to the teacher's question. What do you say?
You say, I'm not sure, but I think, or I don't remember exactly, but possibly, or that's a good question. Could you give us a clue? You can also be honest and say, I'm afraid I don't know. This is perfectly acceptable and much better than staying silent or guessing randomly.
Situation 5. You want to leave the room for a moment. What do you ask?
You say, may I go to the bathroom, please? Or could I be excused for a moment? Or, excuse me, is it okay if I step out briefly? All are polite and appropriate. Wait for the teacher to acknowledge and respond before you leave.
How did you do? Knowing these phrases means you can participate confidently, handle any classroom situation, and communicate naturally with teachers and classmates in English.
Now, let us finish with a summary of the most important phrases to keep in your memory. For when you don't understand, could you repeat that, please? Could you explain that again? I'm not sure I follow. I'm a bit confused about this part. Could you give an example?
For asking for help, could you help me with this? I'm not sure what to do here. Is this right? Could you check my work? Excuse me, could I ask a question? For participating, I think the answer is, in my opinion, could I add something? I agree with you. I see it slightly differently. I'm not sure I agree because.
For practical requests, may I come in? Sorry, I'm late. Could I borrow a pen? When is the homework due? Will this be on the test? Could you write that on the board?
And remember, raise your hand before speaking. Use please at the end of requests, not the beginning. Say I agree and I disagree, not I am agree and I am disagree. Never shout teacher to get attention. Ask for help when you need it because teachers want to help you.
And that's everything for today. We hope this episode gave you real confidence to participate fully in any English-speaking classroom. These phrases are your tools. The more you use them, the more natural they become, and the more you'll get out of every lesson.
Your practice task. Write 5 sentences you might say in class. 1 asking for clarification, 1 answering a question, 1 agreeing or disagreeing with something, 1 asking a practical question, and 1 phrase for when you don't know the answer. That covers every situation from today.
Leave your questions in the comments. We love hearing from our listeners every single week.
Share this episode with someone who's studying English. These phrases make an immediate difference to how confident you feel in class.
Take care of yourself and keep practicing. The classroom is one of the best places to build your English, and you now have everything you need to make the most of it.
We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, and keep going. You're doing brilliantly.
Welcome back to the show. Today, we're diving into the intersection of AI and creative expression.